It's time now to take a look at stories making headlines on Nigerian newspapers. And I begin with the Nation newspaper. The major headline here says, Tinubu unveils funding plan for infrastructure revolution. It's possible to build in difficult times, he says. North Christian Forum endorses Tinubu Shetima. Cross River APC crisis resolved. All the details on the front page of the Nation newspaper. We move now to the front page of the Blueprint. Tinubu ready to build Nigeria in difficult times. Atiku to open all borders. My opponent lacked track record, says APC candidate. Ex-VP donates 50 million naira to victims of insecurity in Katsina. Obi says era of unfulfilled promises over. Okukwe quits as campaign DG. All the details on the front page of the Blueprint. To this Nigerian newspaper now. Dear Peter, I am stepping aside. Okukwe Obi's campaign DG resigns after money laundering conviction. It's a systematic attack on us. UNICEF spokesperson Obidati PCC reacting. All right, to the front page of the First News newspaper now. Cash withdrawal limits. Reps kick as Emefiele shuns lawmakers again. Give CBN Governor 48 hours to appear before House. I'm not available to brief you. Emefiele writes reps. Mike?
All right, I have going in. We move to the Punch newspaper here. And it says cash limits. Reps order CBN to stay action. Banks adamant. Lawmakers insist Emefiele must appear Thursday or send a deputy. All right, that's what the Punch newspaper has in here. From there, let's go to Nigerian News Direct. It says money laundering. Federal government orders suspension of cash withdrawals from public accounts. Excess cash withdrawal from government account exposes public officials to imprisonment. The Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit is quoted saying this. From there, let's go to Daily Trust. IPOB attacks. Igbo avoid Christmas trips to Southeast. Lull at motor parks, airports as many remain in North Abuja, Lagos. Economic slowdown worsens apathy. We will dare the odds. Stay where you are, relatives tell kinsmen. Right, this is the Daily Trust. Okay, from there, let's go to Business Day. Business Day says inflation forces our households to cut Christmas spending. Inflation forces households to cut Christmas spending. That's Business Day. Business Day. Then let's go to leadership now. NIPC snores as Nigeria loses more investment opportunities. NIPC snores as Nigeria loses more investment opportunity. Umar's actions ground commission to a halt. Executive Secretary keeps mum over mounting allegations. Now, the last one we're looking at now is the Daily Times, and it says $547 million generated from 5G auction. Buhari is saying this, all right? $547 million generated from 5G auction, as the president is saying. This applauds ICT sector for driving the growth. All right, that's what we have.
Right, let's quickly look at this developing story that has to do with the cash withdrawal limits policy of the CBN, where the House of Representatives is reacting to the absence or the non-appearance of the CBN Governor, Godwin Emefiele, after it called for him to come explain to them this policy, its impact on, their constituents, and all of it's because they have their concerns. They have raised concerns, and they wanted to, exchange ideas, understand better what this policy is about and how the CBN intends to drive it. But Godwin Emefiele has not appeared. This is the second time he did not appear. And they are concerned that how is it that he is outside the country for 2 weeks and not appearing before them, knowing that they have limited time before this policy kicks off fully, so to to speak. And, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, says that the CBN governor has to give reasons why he's still out, and that he should have, in his stead, sent a deputy CBN governor to come stand and give them the explanation they needed, because there are concerns that have to be addressed.
Yeah, the issue has been on. We've been following that development. Now, on one hand, the CBN has, within the ramifications of the law, the authority that they have the powers to carry out whatever they're carrying out right now. They have the permission of the president to carry that out as well.
Absolutely.
Good. Keep that aside. On the other hand, the House of Representatives or the National Assembly, they have the right also, being representative of the people, to get to know detailed explanations as to what the government is doing, what these issues, what are the thoughts, what are the objectives, what are the aims, and what are going to be the benefits at the end of the day, considering the realities of some of the things, indices on ground. They have the right to also ask those questions so that they can get back to their people. Moreover, know that Christmas is by the corner. Just in a few days, all of them will go on recess and they will go back to face their people. And the people will be asking them, hey, come and tell us.
So they need answers.
So they need answers to take back to their people to say, okay, this is what the CBN governor says. And they will come back with the feedback later on if the people are saying, we don't want this now, or because of the realities of maybe the absence of internet in our area or the access, whatever the thing is, they will bring back that feedback after the Christmas, as the case may be. However, the relationship between agencies of government and the National Assembly, something has to be worked out within there.
Right.
Where if the National Assembly is inviting, because this is not the first time, they've invited so many different agencies that they don't show up sometimes. There has to be a working, because some of these agencies have prearranged appointments, some of them outside the country, like in the case of the CBN governor right now. One would say, okay, why is it? Anyway, we don't have the details right now as to why he's outside.
He has said it's an official.
Exactly. There are so many meetings, prearranged meetings. There are meetings of central bank governors. I'm not there, so I would not speak on his behalf. But if it's official, of course, one would assume that his being out at this time will be to the benefit of the Nigerian country and interest, as the case may be. So if somebody is on official duty, and you call the person to appear and you tell, I cannot appear now because I am on official duty, and this official duty has been prearranged before now, then there has to be some understanding. We are still human beings running these offices after all.
But there's also the aspect of the governor knowing that he has an official duty to attend to outside the country, bringing someone to represent him who understands what the cashless policy is about, or the withdrawal limit is about, that can explain, to the members of the House of Reps.
Yeah,
it is important.
That's very possible. And why that is not done is what we may not explain right now, as the details are not before us, so we may not know what that is. However, if a deputy, we've seen cases or situations where a deputy or a subordinate of whom is being invited goes to brief the House, and the House says it is the person we want, not his deputy or not his...
But the Speaker said he could send someone in his stead.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. But from antecedents, from some of the things that have happened before, we've seen cases where some people have been turned back and say, hey, you are not the one we want. It is your Oga that we want. We've seen cases like that. So the point there is, what I feel is that this official back and forth, I feel that there can still be a seamless engagement between agencies of government. Is it the National Assembly or the clerk of the House that doesn't have the phone number of the CBN governor to call to understand what the issues are? Is it the CBN that doesn't have the phone number of the Speaker of the House or House of
to explain to him?
Call?
Those are not official channels.
Of course, they are not official channels. But the point there is that there can be some understanding. The challenge sometimes is that when we are too official with everything, sometimes you are not able to have a headway. We know that there are official, but if we have a convivial interrelationship, it helps reduce the tension that could have arisen from that official engagement where you invite me, I am not there, and it looks like it is rude, or it looks like I'm ignoring you, as the case may be. The moment we have that understanding, then the tone of the letter, the official letter and engagement, will also reflect the understanding that we have with each other.
Absolutely.
So these things are very important. So these are all the soft skill that is needed in that kind of engagement, or the official emotional intelligence that exists.
Emotional.
Exactly, whatever the thing is. But because the point there is, the CBN governor not appearing looks like he has snubbed
them,
or he has ignored, or he has
because
undermined.
this is not the first time.
This is not the first time.
And it seems he didn't send a letter when he did not appear the first time.
Very good. So the point there is that as much as whatever the CBN governor is doing outside the country may be genuine, may be official, or maybe genuine, I don't know, whatever the thing is, but if there is an unofficial communication first, in fact, let us even assume he picks up a phone call. Honorable Speaker, sir, this is the blah, 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 blah. I'm going to send somebody to blah, 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 as the case may be. If there's even going to be a follow-up official letter, eventually, the tone will create an understanding between the CBN governor, CBN as an institution, and the National Assembly as an institution.
Right.
So the moment that thing is not there, and then we have to write a letter, we don't care whatever you're doing outside the country, ours is that you must appear. Otherwise, you've undermined our power. The moment it is like that, it creates more tension.
Because for some persons, it's seeming like the CBN governor just engages with the president, and every other person, well,
exactly.
I don't care what you think.
But we want to assume that the CBN does not work in isolation, or should not work in isolation. There are so many stakeholders within the system, especially when it comes to deriving authority and consultation and permission from. Right. And the National Assembly is possibly one of them.